Hello everyone. Welcome back to Jikook Diaries, your daily dive into the unspoken, the intense, and the heart-fluttering connection between Jimin and Jungkook. And today, ARMYs, are you sitting down for this? Because something unexpectedly spicy just happened at Taehyung's live. It all began innocently. Taehyung started his live with that charming, relaxed aura only he can pull off. Fans were excited. Thousands poured in to watch him chat casually about his day, his thoughts, his music. But as always, when it comes to BTS, things rarely stay simple, especially when Jimin enters the frame. Yes, Jimin suddenly appeared in the background. He wasn't scheduled. He didn't say anything at first, but he came in with that soft energy, that delicate smile, the one that seems to calm everything down yet silently shakes everything up. The moment he stepped into the shot, the energy shifted, and so did Jungkook's expression. Jungkook was already there, sitting casually near Taehyung, relaxed, laughing. But when Jimin walked in, his demeanor subtly changed. His body shifted. His eyes, those eyes that never lie, immediately followed Jimin's every step. You could see it in real time. Jungkook became alert, possessive even. And ARMY noticed. The eye contact between Jikook during this live was not just intense, it was loaded. At one point, Jimin said something to Taehyung while smiling sweetly, and Jungkook, who was sipping water, paused mid-drink and stared. Not at Tae, not at the camera, but at Jimin. And when Jimin laughed at something Taehyung said, leaning slightly toward him, Jungkook's jaw visibly clenched. It was micro, it was subtle, but it was there. This isn't the first time Jungkook's emotions have betrayed him in real time. We've seen the subtle jealousy before when Jimin gets too close to staff, when he laughs a little too much with another member, but this moment felt different. It was raw, live, unfiltered, and it said so much without saying anything. ARMYs in the chat went wild. Comments like, Jungkook's eyes were screaming, the way he looked at Jimin just now, and protective Kook has entered the chat, flooded the screen. The energy between them crackled like electricity. Even Taehyung seemed to sense it. At one point, he jokingly stepped aside as if giving the stage to the other two, teasing something like, "You two need a room?" Of course, he was laughing, but was he really joking? When Jungkook finally spoke again, his voice was a little lower, a little quieter, and he kept glancing sideways at Jimin like he couldn't decide if he was annoyed or enchanted. Jimin, meanwhile, stayed calm, maybe even a little too calm. That mischievous glint in his eyes? Oh, he knew. He always knows. And here's where it gets even more heart-racing. At the end of the live, when the cameras were about to go off, Jimin leaned toward Jungkook and whispered something. We didn't hear it, but Jungkook's eyes widened, his lips parted slightly, and then he smiled, one of those soft, private smiles he only ever gives to Jimin. The kind of smile that says, "I'm still yours." Was it just playful tension? Was it classic Jungkook possessiveness flaring up? Or was it a reminder that behind the camera-ready faces, the rehearsed lines, and the professional polish, there's something real, something quietly burning between them? Whatever it was, one thing is clear. Jikook doesn't need to say much. Their eyes say it all. But let's go deeper. For those who've been following Jikook for years, you know this isn't an isolated incident. Let's rewind to those other accidental moments that left the fandom gasping. From Bon Voyage in Malta, where Jungkook couldn't stop glancing at Jimin during dinner, to Run BTS episodes where the subtle brushing of fingers felt louder than fireworks. The tension isn't new. What's new is how unfiltered it's become. Fans across platforms began compiling clips immediately after the live. On Twitter, #JikookEyeContact began trending within 20 minutes. On TikTok, slowed-down zoom-ins of Jungkook's gaze toward Jimin were captioned with things like, "If looks could confess love," or "You can't fake this level of longing." One fan theory particularly stood out. A popular Jikook account pointed out the timing, how Jungkook's shift in energy only happened when Jimin got too cozy around Taehyung. It's not about rivalry, it's about attachment. And Jungkook has shown before how deeply, and sometimes visibly, he's affected when Jimin diverts his attention elsewhere. It's important to note that Jimin, in his own elegant way, isn't just passive in these exchanges. He plays with the moment. The way he moved toward Taehyung, smiled, then looked briefly, almost teasingly at Jungkook before speaking again. That wasn't coincidence. That was performance. Not for the cameras. For him. Body language experts in the fandom even broke down Jungkook's reaction frame by frame. The moment his eyes locked on Jimin's hand brushing Taehyung's arm, the micro-expression tightening lips, nostrils flaring slightly, and then, the blink. The long, slow blink that usually means emotional regulation. Jungkook was calming himself down. And here lies the magic. Their connection doesn't scream, it whispers. And fans? They've trained themselves to listen. Reddit threads quickly filled up with posts titled, "Is Jungkook jealous again?" Or, "That ending smile. Jimin, what did you say?" One ARMY even wrote a fictional letter from Jungkook's POV, narrating what might have gone through his mind during the live. "I know I shouldn't care. I know it's all for fun. But when he looks at Tae like that, I feel it. The shift, the distance. And then he looks at me. And I know he knows. And suddenly it's okay again. Because even if the whole world is watching, that look, that smile, that's just for me." Fan art began flooding in, capturing the scene. Some drew the moment of the eye contact with glowing threads connecting their gazes. Others illustrated Jungkook in grayscale, with only Jimin in color highlighting who brings light into his vision. But what does this mean for their story? Is this just another moment in a long timeline of connection? Or is something changing? Many believe it's a sign of deepening emotional maturity, that while younger versions of themselves might have hidden behind awkward laughs, now they're slowly allowing truth to peek through glances, smiles, even jealousy. We saw something very similar during the 2022 Festa dinner. Remember when Jimin teased Jungkook about their late-night talks? Jungkook's reaction then mirrors what we saw during Tae's live. Flushed cheeks, a nervous chuckle, and then that undeniable stare. It's a pattern, a rhythm only they understand. And yet, what makes Jikook so compelling isn't just the tension. It's the tenderness, the protectiveness, the comfort. During the same live, after all the teasing, Jimin reached over and straightened Jungkook's mic. It was such a small gesture, but that's Jimin, always gentle, always looking out for him. Jungkook in turn softened. The tightness in his posture relaxed. And for a fleeting second, he leaned just slightly toward Jimin as if silently saying, "Thank you." And just like that, we were reminded. This isn't just about romance or speculation. It's about connection. Two people who, despite the spotlight, find home in each other's presence. So as ARMYs continue to dissect, replay, and swoon over every micro moment from that live, let us not forget what draws us in. It's not just the jealousy. It's the truth behind it, the depth of emotion, the care, the history, the love. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep your heart soft, and never stop believing in the magic that is Jikook. Because as long as they keep looking at each other like that, we'll keep watching. Thank you for watching today's episode of Jikook Diaries. If your eyes caught that look and your heart skipped a beat when they stared into each other's souls, then you're exactly where you belong. Jikook isn't just a moment. They're a story unfolding in every quiet glance that never lies. If you felt the same spark, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single heartbeat from their journey. Drop a comment below. What do you think Jimin whispered to Jungkook at the end of the live? We'll see you in the next video. Stay soft, stay loud, stay Jikook. Dizzy.